Does the medic class need a buff? This is a question that's been going around the Battlefield community, being discussed over the past few weeks, basically since the game has come out. And for good reason. On certain game modes, certain maps, medics are not to be found, and for good reason. There's no point in picking the medic class. But really, while the question seems quite simple, and there seems to be more or less of a broad consensus according to the community as to whether or not there is the need for a buff to the medic class, the exact reasons for, and understandably the information needed to make that decision, has been less available, and only as we start to get some more stats on weapons are we really getting the full picture as to why exactly the medic feels so underwhelming in Battlefield 5. Really, we have to divide this question into two different ones. A, is the SMG as weaponry class balanced in a suitable fashion? Are the SMGs, not the medic, but the SMGs in need of a buff? Are they effective enough at the combat ranges at which they should be the most effective class of weaponry out there? The secondary question then, by extension, is whether the SMGs as a class of weaponry are the suitable exclusive class of weaponry to be available to the medic. So, should the medic, besides the SMG, maybe have access to the assault semi-automatics, or a new class of weapons such as carbines? Those two questions are what define essentially the discussion around whether or not Battlefield 5's medic class is simply too weak compared to the fantastically strong and effective assault, support, and scout that we've seen introduced in this title. And to start off with the first question, we need to dig into some numbers, some stats, which thanks to Simthic, and I'll try to link it down below in the description, we've got at least some kind of premature stats going on so far, as well as some very active members on the Reddit forums. What we know so far is that the SMGs in close quarters are a 4-shot kill. This compares to a 5-shot kill for the assault rifles, which obviously gives them a leg up in terms of damage output. It means that even something as stupid or as ineffective, so it would seem, as the Sten gun can outdamage a STG-44 in close encounter combat, thanks to its 4 versus 5-shot kill. What that argument doesn't quite take into account, sadly however, is when that 4-shot kill becomes a 5-shot kill, and when that 5-shot kill becomes a 6-shot kill. Because whereas the assault becomes a 6-shot kill at 50 meters, so a considerable distance before you actually need more bullets to down your targets, the Sten gun, for a matter of fact, as far as I've seen, all SMGs at which I've looked at the stats, so for example, the Suomi or the MP28 as well as the Sten gun, they lose a 4-shot kill and become a 5-shot kill at 9 meters of a distance. So at 10 meters, you're engaging a target, you're going to require 5 bullets to down your target. The identical number that the assault class and the assault rifles at that point need to take down their target. The problem there is, of course, that a lot of the SMGs have a lower fire rate than the assault ARs. The lowest firing AR in terms of fire rate is the STG-44 at 599, according to the in-game stats, 600 rounds per minute. Then followed by the 670 round per minute Sturmgewehr 1.5, and then of course the beastly M1907SF. So these weapons, essentially from 9 meters onwards, outdamage any SMG that has a fire rate lower than their own. They become essentially comparable 1-to-1 as soon as you take them out of that 9-meter close encounter combat. The problem here really in balance terms is not that the SMGs are not better in terms of close encounter combat. They are, thanks to their hipfire advantage and their time to kill advantage. The problem is the definition of DICE of close encounter combat, of CQB. It doesn't end at 9 meters. It really doesn't. Like, I don't care how early you want to start medium range combat, because there's absolutely discussion to be had. Where does medium range start? Where does close quarter end? It's definitely not at 9 meters. It's definitely beyond 15 meters, arguably easily all the way up to 20 meters is close encounter combat. So having that damage drop off maybe makes a little bit sense for weapons like the Tommy gun or the Suomi, because those things outperform on the basis of fire rate almost all of the ARs. It doesn't make so much sense when your weapon is shooting slower than the STG-44, such as the Sten gun, or, if I'm not mistaken, the MP40 as well. Now you can do some upgrades here and increase fire rates, but the ultimate picture is that you end up always being outdamaged by your enemy, other than at 9 meters. And if you're supposed to be wielding the close quarter, other than shotgun, dominant weapon class, that can't be a thing. You can't be forced to pick something like the Suomi, which is range ineffective. It's very much exclusively close quarter, which is fine, or basically not have a weapon that performs well at any range. That shouldn't be the choice. The Sten gun and weapons like the MP28 need to be viable options, and as such, if you ask me, they need to have their 4-range kill extended. Be that to 15 meters, be that to 20 meters. The same doesn't necessarily have to apply to the Tommy gun and the Swarmy, but those low fire rate SMGs, they need a buff to their damage drop-off. Let's not forget that currently, at 25 meters, these go to a 7-shot kill already. So your damage drop-off is ridiculous. You're seriously bleeding damage as soon as you leave that 9-shot kill. And that's what you expect from SMGs, but not quite as aggressively as it's been implemented in Battlefield 5. The second question then is, of course, are the SMGs the right category of weapons to be exclusively locked to the medic in Battlefield 5? And the simple answer, in my opinion, is no. I've heard this argument time and time again. If you want to revive, you gotta get in close. So it makes sense that you have a weapon that is capable to get in close. The problem with that argument is that it completely ignores the fact that combat takes place at all and any engagement distances between infantry in Battlefield 5 in any Battlefield game. If my sniper buddy gets sniped from 150 meters, I don't need a weapon that's good at taking out targets in close quarters. I need a weapon that's at least going to scare off that sniper, if not kill. But if my spread and my horizontal recoil is so much all over the place that I can't even get one measly 13 damage shot into that sniper, he's just gonna snipe me when I go for that revive. That is the extreme example, but it's more realistic in the medium range scenario. Whereas medic, I find myself, if I want to go for revives, only being able to do so under cover of smoke, or if my teammate has died in a convenient position, which usually they haven't, because why would they make your life easy? So you either then go full on medic as only job, so you go back and forth between the ammo crate, basically resupplying yourself smoke grenades so that you can revive people, or you just try and revive somebody whenever they lie in an ideal position. It's just not the way it works. Furthermore, you need medics pushing with a team at all engagement distances. You need medics supporting those support players that are fighting at medium range. You need medics supporting the close quarter orientated assaults, or the assaults taking out tanks with dynamites. You need medics supporting the scout players trying to play the objective, assuming that they for once are. Therefore, you need a medic that's able to competently take out enemies in those situations. And if you lock a medic to arguably, other than the shotgun, the most range-restricted class of weaponry in Battlefield 5, you're doing the very opposite of that. There's a reason why Battlefield 5, the medic, had the assault rifles. And there was many problems with Battlefield 4's weapon division between classes. That's not what I'm trying to get into here, but there's a reason why they had the assault rifles. All the more, there was a reason in Battlefield 1 why the medic had the SLRs, because they were the most range-versatile class of weaponry that the game had to offer. Simply put, it allowed them to always be present. No matter what map, no matter what game mode, they were there. They were able to play, engage infantry targets, and by extension then, also heal people, revive people. And just on top of that, no matter how dedicated to my team I am never going to pick a class just to help my team on a game mode where I will then no longer be able to engage infantry targets reliably with a weapon that is suitable for the engagement distances that I am trying to engage those targets on. So in Frontline Hamada, I am never going to pick something that isn't at least medium range capable. So that's either a low firing AR, more likely if I'm going assault, it's going to be a semi-auto, or it's going to be an LMG, or even if it has to be, given the amount of camping snipers on that map, a sniper rifle to dish out some punishing headshots. I'm never going to pick the medic. I tried it. It's an absolutely horrendously awful experience. It's just basically getting snipe simulator while hiding behind cover, because you're never going to take anybody out. Mini rant over though. Let me know down below in the comments what you think of the medic in Battlefield 5 and how it's balanced so far. As well as I'd love to hear your usual video suggestions, specifically also for other episodes, further episodes of fixing Battlefield 5. So leave that, as per usual, down below in the comments, or hit me up with it on Twitter. If you found the video helpful, interesting, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. But with all that being said, I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you in the next Battlefield 5 video.